you're not right with God, you could still be alone. You could be in a room full of people and still feel alone. Like another human being is not going to make you feel whole unless they have a connection like you have. Like the energy that we giving right now, it's all about energy and vibes. Me, I feel more comfortable like spending time to myself, elevating myself. But at the same time, like when I come together with my man, it's all love. It don't have to be some type. I feel smothered when I'm with somebody 24/7. Like I don't know that traditional
I'm
stuff.
with you. I work 20 days out
Hold
and I
on,
come
wait,
home for 10
she went
days.
done. Hold on, music. Hold on.
I'm
You
Hold
can
on.
sorry.
Tell
Go
you
ahead.
something.
Go
Let
ahead.
me let
Go
me let
ahead.
me tell you something. Listen, I knew somebody who was like on a dying bed, but this one particular person kept calling, and this person answered every time this person called. One time that person called, and this particular person looked at me and said, "This motherfucker is getting on my nerves. He need to stop calling my goddamn ass." And probably had like a day to live,
Yeah.
and let the phone kept ringing. He didn't even answer it.
He's
That
a
was
kid.
somebody
He's
who
probably
was
crazy.
concerned and shit, but it was like at the point, like, God damn it, fuck it. Like, you get where I'm coming from? Like, you don't have to keep
Yeah,
calling me every 3 fucking minutes and shit,
yeah.
like checking on me.
but you
That was
realize,
his attitude. Like, fuck it. He knew he had like a day
but
to live.
you were standing there, right? You were standing there, right?
I was there. Mm-hmm.
So then why are you calling me when you could be standing here?
True. I was sitting there. Yeah.
No, no, I'm saying he probably felt like that. You blowing me up to see if I'm still here, but why you not here while I'm here?
I'm going to
Exactly.
die
That's a
from
good point.
cancer.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So
I
somebody
already
said
know it.
leave space is not.
If I might share on this topic, just briefly, a personal experience of being given 48 hours to live just a few years ago. I had a rare case of pink eye, something as trivial as pink eye. Babies get pink eye. But the coincidence of my pink eye is I had clogged tear ducts. So the pink eye could not weep out of my eyes. But you normally see the crust and the weeping and the stickiness. None of that happened. It was building up in my eye to the point where the whites of my eyes turned blood red. The hospital requested to have all the specialists and the nurses and the doctors come see me because for 99% of them, they only ever saw my case in a textbook.
Wow.
So they said, no offense to you, but can we bring them in to observe, basically to observe what they thought potentially could be death? And there was an Indian gentleman that came in, and he was the calmest of everyone that kept coming in. It got to a point early on, I couldn't even stand sunlight. So I asked them to send in maintenance. I said, when it got to the point where my eyes would weep, they started tearing and it wouldn't stop. Now imagine that. When you cry, even over a traumatic event, the tears stop. My eyes started to tear, the pus and what have you, and it wouldn't stop. So the skin on my face was like a perpetual, like taking a bath. It was that sensitive, where it wouldn't stop at all. And I said, this has to be a problem. I can't even stand sunlight. And they had to have maintenance duct tape a blackout curtain. They found it. I don't know where they found it in the hospital. It was a Mexican gentleman. He said, I looked for this because you asked for it. I made sure that I found what you asked for. And they found a blackout curtain and taped it and clipped it to the window to where there was no light coming in that room. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. There was only one light on the machine behind me. And they even put a towel over that. It was that bad. And I sat in that room. And when the tears subsided, when they brought in this Indian gentleman, he stood the closest to me. I must have looked so horrible that they didn't even want to get within 3 feet because it was so bad that they were gasping. When the women came in, it was an uncontrollable, and they just looked at me. And they said, I've never seen this before in my life. Everyone kept saying the same thing. So I knew it was bad. And the Indian doctor, he was the most casual. And I looked at him, I said, sir, you seem like you've seen this before. He said in third world country, we see this all the time because people can't get something as simple as penicillin or medicine, that these children die of what you have. And we see it a lot. So he said, out of everyone here, I've probably seen it the most. To them, they've never seen it. He said, I've seen it in India, and that's where I'm from. And I remember the moment when the doctor came to my door And he said, we've done all that we can do, and you're not getting any better. At this point, the flesh on my face, it was swelling underneath. The pus was building, the fluid was building up under my skin.
Ew.
Under my skin, in my face. My whole face was swelling up.
Why?
The virus was in my body, but it was so far gone. It was so intense that I had a temperature of 103, and now I had pus and blood coming out my eyes.
What?
Yeah, it was bad. And I was burning up, and they said, he stood at the door. I'll never forget this as long as I live. He stood at the door, and he was so calm. He was so calm. And he said, I'm going to tell you this. You have 48 hours to live. And he paused for a second. He said, you have 48 hours to live.
So that was a lie.
He said, exactly. Well, God knows best. And he said, contact your family members, because if they don't live close by, it's obviously a very real state that they won't be able to come to you in your last moments. So prepare yourself, call your family, and let them know the circumstance, because you very well may pass here in the hospital. We've done all that we can. We're going to get you a morphine drip to ease the pain. There's no medication that we can give you at this. We've given you what we could, and right now it's whatever's your body, the course your body's going to take. Because if this infection goes to your brain, that's what will kill you, because there's no medicine we can give to subside the virus, the infection, if it reaches your brain. And right now it's in your system. And then he promptly left, closed the door. It was me and the beeping of that machine. So when you talk about being alone, what I'm saying on a natural level, it was me and that machine. And all I could hear were the words from his mouth. That's all I could hear. And I'm sharing this for this reason. I'm a God-fearing man. And I said, it's me and my creator. And I sat there, and the words he said, it was like a tape playing in my ears. And instantly I started like a video. I started seeing moments that I cherished with my family members. I didn't think about bad things that happened to me in my life, because you get over those. I thought about the love that I experienced in life. I thought about my mom.
You goddamn comments, man.
I thought about my family. But then this is the painful part, that I know people cry, that you see somebody crying and you think it's the pain that they're in. They start crying about things that they have never had a chance to experience in life. I started crying that I never learned how to play the guitar. I started crying that at that time, I never owned my dream car.
I was going to start crying with you.
You was crying. So
I was crying about not experiencing certain things in life. My body was so racked with pain that it was beyond pain. That's why my sister's a nurse practitioner. She said, when they gave you that morphine drip, it was to ease, it was so that you would fall asleep. It was so that you could pass and not feel pain. It's to ease the sharpness of the pain. That's why they gave you the morphine, is to make it easier for you to pass. That's why they hooked you up.
So you know what's crazy? It was a baby. I did a lot of work with her. I did her graduation pictures and a lot of other stuff with their family, her mom's wedding and so on and so forth. And when she passed, she had stomach cancer. I can't remember what it's called exactly. But before she passed, she said, I want to get married one day. And it's crazy. You're right. People do think about that when they feel death coming. And at 19, this baby is gone. But it was so crazy, the things she said she wanted to experience, that you can't make those things happen. So, I mean, it's a different level of reality when you are in, I guess, the line of death, or seeing it coming, or feeling it upon us. But to the host, you ain't shit.
What you talking about?
Your eyes ain't hurt.
I don't normally share this. I really don't, because
man.
It has done so much to me that even now I'm crying. I'm crying right now because it has affected me so deeply. To see what you start seeing are the people that you love the most. And I'm not being funny. Not the people you like. You start seeing the people that you love and cherish the most, and that's what you realize what life is about. the ones that you love, the people that you told you love. Because I started thinking about, man, I just want to tell them that I love them because they may not be able to get here. He just told me they may not even be able to get here. And then I started thinking, I don't want to die in here. Not like this. I don't want them to see me in this condition, but I don't want to die like this with a beeping machine behind me and it's pitch black. I don't want to go like this. And then I realized when you talk about the length of life, I thought about the child that was given terminal cancer at 11. And I thought about the 80-year-old person that died in their sleep. And I said, what is the moment of death? It's just a moment. Now, however long it takes you to get there, it may take you 20 years racked with pain with cancer. But the moment of death is the same length of time for all of us. It's a moment. The moment of transition, whether it's in a car accident or whether someone's diagnosed with cancer. The experience you go through while you're still alive is what you go through. But the moment of death is the same for us all. And what I'm sharing, what impacted me the most was the regret of things that I had never experienced in life. I just started thinking about experience. I'd never been to Jamaica. Because I put them on my list to do. God willing, I want to do before I do pass. And I remember that night I kept fighting my sleep. I'm telling you. Every time I started to doze, I said, "You're not going to sleep." I said, I'm not going. If I'm going to go, I'm going with my eyes wide open.
Can I ask you a question? So did they find out a medication for you, or your body just healed itself?
It was God. That's the only way I can chalk it up because the fever was so intense. The fever was so intense that I was not sweating. It was so intense
I was
that
trying to
I stopped sweating.
To that because you're very detailed. You should write a book because you're very descriptive. But when you was describing, I was like, "Wow, did the doctors give him something that healed him, or what happened?"
No, it was me and that morphine drip, and it was me the morphine drip.
God came and delivered you.
And it wasn't that I was pleading with God.
I was on this bitch falling asleep.
I didn't cut a deal with God.
Hey, y'all look at Mother T. Her ass up there snoring.
Hey, Mr. Ken Dickens, can I ask you a question, sir? Mr. Dickens?
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen here. Your story is pretty overwhelming, man. It's pretty deep, and my question to you is now. I don't know when I think you said it happened sometime recently, not so long ago, but whenever it happened, have you now started pursuing those things that you thought about when you were laying back on, man, I never really did this, I never really did it. Have you started doing those things and making sure
that my life's mission, that everything that came to mind, that I will fulfill all of it, God willing, with no excuses.
Because
with no excuses.
I tell you, brother, I think the reason why I probably would not be affected so much, I had done all kind of shit. I've been all over the world, man. I'm done. I'm tired. I just want to watch Gunsmoke, grow my damn cabbage, and chill out, and just hopefully a plane don't crash into my fucking house.
Well, see, I understand when somebody lays there and they're staring at the ceiling with a smile saying, I lived a good life. Where they literally, they can't think of anything else that they wanted to do except maybe have a core group of people that they love and cherish around them in that moment while they're passing.
Amen.
I think in my family, everybody's going to be
I know I lived in life. There were things that I had never experienced that I wanted to experience.
I know y'all hear this man car.
But what had happened, it was around 12:30 that night. It was around 12:30.
Hey, 6'4", mute your mic, bro.
It was around 12:30 that night, about 12:35 exact. And I took a picture in the mirror because I said this will be the last image they see if I do pass. And as bad as I looked, I knew I had terror in my face. I knew it. I could see it in the mirror. I was holding on, but
she was delivered
in the mirror. And I took that picture and I said, even if this is the last photo that they see of me,
but you was delivered.
Absolutely. Now 12:35, I knew something happened. I felt different. My skin was burning up, but I knew something happened. I said, wait a minute. Even if that's just an ounce of a difference, I could feel it in my body. And I said, I remember hearing myself say, you're going to live. God's going to grant you grace. Not that you've earned it, not that you could get an extra second of your life. He's going to grant you grace. You're going to make it through this. And I was on fire. My skin was on fire. I was burning up. And I said, I just know that I've hit the peak and now I'm coming down the other side. We're gonna make it. And I started thanking God. I was thanking him the whole time because it was just me and him. And I said, well, if it's my time to go, then Lord, I just want to hear that you say,
Jay, you
well
better leave me the hell
done.
alone. I'm trying to survive.
That if you say, well done, good and faithful servant, that's all I want to hear. I want to know that I accomplished whatever assignment you had in this world, whoever you wanted me to touch, whoever you wanted me to reach out to. I just want to know that I did that.
I'm just happy that you was delivered.
Because what impacts me every day of my life when I wake up is I'm purpose driven. I believe that we all have a purpose and a plan, and it's not our jobs. Our jobs are what we do. And some people get too caught up in their jobs where they don't seek purpose. And I know people think it's some mysticism involved with that. I think our purpose is to impact one another literally in love.
Yes.
Yeah, too.
Love is the most powerful force in the
Jay,
universe.
I am here in the name of the Lord.
No, that's facts though.
Because the love that you share to someone else, I'll go this deep. The love that you share with someone else is God. The purest form of love is God. The one of the most profound scriptures in the Bible is God is love. People don't understand. They don't understand the simplicity and power of that scripture. God is love. The truest, purest form of love that you can experience. That's God. So if I'm sharing love with you, I'm sharing God with you.
That's true.
If I love you unconditionally, outside from the hurt, just say, I love you.
I love you.
I'm treating you as if you were me. As if
I
you
love
were
you.
me.
And I want you to know I'm so happy that you was delivered.
Absolutely.
Thank
you.
you.
And thank you for sharing that story too, Dickens.
You're
Just
very
hold
welcome.
on though. T Money, what's up? What brings you to the live?
Hi everyone. Thank you for allowing me up. What brought me in, I was half listening to his story, but his story actually resonated with me, just in some similarities. When doctors give you what they call turn out the lights, when they come in and tell you that there's nothing else that they can do for you. I was in critical condition for three days, in labor, 3 days in critical condition, basically trying to have my son. I was really, really sick because I have sickle cell anemia. I guess the high blood pressure, everything, all of that, it just made everything worse. And they literally came in and stated that there was nothing else that they could do if I didn't deliver my son, that both of us were not going to make it. And I remember my parents and my family that had flew in. My son was the first grandson and the first this, the first that on both sides. So people were coming from everywhere. I remember them getting in a circle. And when they began to pray, literally you could feel the building begin to shake and move. And the aspect of what God was capable of doing in the middle of them praying, I could feel my baby saying, I'm coming out of here no matter what. Soon as they stopped praying, I remember telling my husband, I feel something. And he looked down and he said, he started screaming, I see the head. And they ran and got the doctor, and he was delivered. Took him 5 minutes.
Amen.
And I mean, your story just resonated with me when you said they came in and told you there was nothing else that they could do.
So in my situation, I was contagious, so no one could touch me. So even to ask a nurse for a hug was impossible.
Why would you?
You see what I'm saying? Like if I wasn't contagious, I would have asked someone for a hug, something as simple as a hug. Because in my mind, I'm thinking if I'm this close, you might be one of the last people I experienced something like that with. The nurses had to come in and take care of me, but they couldn't touch me.
Where did the host go? Where did the host go?
Deeply,
Because I'm
it
about to
hurt
cuss him out.
But I certainly understand your story. I
Both of
get your
y'all
story.
That's
stories,
messed up because
especially with sickle
that's
cell, because baby, that ain't nothing to play with. But you said you was contagious. That's y'all stories are something that sometimes those are things that you should really do blogs on, like story time. Because I'm telling you, I would tune in. And
Yeah, I'm actually getting prepared. It's the reason why I was actually on TikTok. I found me a writer because I'm not too good at that, but I'm actually preparing to write a book. That's not the only story that I have. Oh, of course, with having sickle cell, but
yeah,
it's been
that's a
some
different level of
things
a
to
battle.
happen in my life, and it makes me know. And I tell people all the time, if you knew like I knew. Because there is nothing God cannot do.
That's facts.
Nothing at all. And I'm like you, brother. I travel, I do all the things that I was thinking about in that moment. I started traveling at a certain age, and I promised myself every year on
Damn,
my birthday, I'm
why you
going
say that,
somewhere.
D? Why you say I'm petty? Because I was laughing.
Your voice is very.
I,
My voice, what?
Not your voice. I was talking about the Miss T Money sickle cell. Your voice is very soothing. If you had your own podcast, I would.
mm-hmm.
Oh, thank y'all. Bless y'all.
God bless you.
Bless y'all. I'm working. I'm working on it.
I
I'm
said
working on
you're
it.
petty
you know
because
what's
you were
messed
delivered
up.
and you left.
Hold on, 6'4". Hold on. What you said, D?
I said you are petty because you left alive and I was getting delivered.
Oh, my bad, baby. I'm sorry.
What you do for a living? Why you have?
Huh?
What you a producer?
No, I'm an entrepreneur, but not a producer though.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you. I'm a book author.
You're a what?
I'm a book author and a life coach.
A book author?
And a life coach.
And life
And I
coach.
have other ventures out there that's not dealing with reading and coaching and all that stuff.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, how
That's
this changed?
interesting.
I'm currently writing 3 books
Oh,
simultaneously.
really?
Movie
Well, you
script.
need to get delivered as
Like,
well, then.
yeah, because I mean, as the one guest did say, she said you should speak, and I actually am a public speaker and a motivational speaker, but I haven't really expanded on that as a career until this year. Actually, I felt like 2023 was a defining moment for millions of people. I keep hearing people say they feel a shift, but on a spiritual level.
Yeah, you
Like,
echoing a little bit.
Yeah, 6'4" trying to talk. I don't know what he's trying to say, but he looked like he
go
on the
ahead, brother.
road.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh no, I was just saying, just listening to y'all story, like the guy said, he couldn't even get a hug from the nurse, and it's just I know what you said, man. I seen the level of care in the hospitals just drop tremendously. It ain't always the sickness. Sometimes it ain't the sickness; it's the aftercare.
Yeah.
The aftercare ain't what it used to be.
I don't know what
remember. You could be sick in the hospital and they took damn good care of you after the surgeries. Now you dying of infections, leaving there with something that you didn't go with. And I'll be thinking that I'm of the mindset, that shit is by design. Like, just let them go. Just let them go. Just let them go.
Okay, well, I'm glad that y'all have been delivered. I'm glad that 6'4", that was my signal to let me go. It's time for me to exit.
Yeah, that's.
God bless you.
I
Don't
gotta
leave
get
me.
up in a little bit. And everybody in the audience, I appreciate y'all. I was delivered. And I want y'all to know that y'all need to follow me so I can follow you Negroes back. And I hope you all are blessed. Everybody in the audience, be delivered.
You be blessed too.
Absolutely. Take
Bye,
care,
y'all.
man.
And someone made a comment. I hope he changed his whole bedspread when he got back home. Oh yeah, yeah. I disinfected everything.
Hey,
I think
hey,
I threw my bed sheets out.
hey, what y'all said? 6'4" got somebody in the back. Hey, what y'all said?
Yeah.
Oh no, ain't got nobody in the back seat. Ain't nobody in my back seat. Ain't
Y'all,
nobody in my back seat.
Not him showing us. Nah, the police ain't gonna be on me. Fuck that.
Yo, them groceries. I got
Hey, you
went to
know something,
Myers.
bro? Hey, you know something that's funny, bro? You know on the live, right? 6'4".
Uh,
I don't never really look at the live. I
yeah.
mean the comments. Them shits be flowing like water. I don't never really look at them,
Yeah,
but
they
for some reason today I was looking at these motherfuckers, man, and these people in these comments, bro.